Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope y'all are doing great. I'm doing okay. Can't complain too much about too much. So I got this Stamps of Life stamp set in the mail a few days ago. Lighthouse to my stamp. And I used to be a part of the die club too, but then I got a scan and cut and no need to get extra dies. I can always just scan them out on the scan and cut. And that's what I plan on doing today once we open it and play around with it. But I just thought this would be so cool. And these are some samples. You always get a sample card. And then I got a free little situation right here. Got some Let's Get a Donut and Coffee with some sprinkles. I think these are sprinkles. They could be little coffee beans if you are into doing it, something like that. And then this is how the stamp set looks. I did notice a little, I don't know what this is. I'm going to open it up and we're going to check out and see if that's a real imperfection or is it just Brandy being extra. And if you're interested, go over and check her out. I don't get paid. I pay money for this. So that's why I don't spotlight or showcase stuff anymore, because no one's asked me to do anything and give me anything in return. Everything that you see, I pay for out of my own money. All right, so many decisions have popped in and out of my head, or choices or thoughts. I was thinking maybe I can stamp this up in a different color, but then I'm like, no, we're going to go ahead and go with black, and then we can just color it up. And then I was thinking, let's stamp it with something else, and I was like, no, let's go ahead and go with black. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to use my stamp platform. I was like, no, we're not, because we're going to use one sheet and cut it all the way out. And so I do see, you know, I pointed to this imperfection earlier at the very beginning, and it is interesting. It's not, I don't think it's on the back of the page, but it may be on the front of the stamp. And if it's on the front of the stamp, you know, no biggie. It's like a little, I don't know, lip. You see it? So, yep, we'll see. I really like this big stamp, but I wonder if I should have just moved the stamp around on the platform. I'm nervous now. Okay, so here we are at the present moment. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 on here. I think I can get probably 10. And I do think that you probably, if you're going to do something like this, probably get a small sheet of paper and just use your whatever stamping tool you have, because as you can see, some of the lines did not come out all the way, and that is definitely operator error, but it's a good stamping session. I already dropped the ink on the project. I stamped my finger. I mean, it's going to be wonderful at the end of this creation. Okay, so this is how it looks now. And then, you know, even after I stamped it out, I was like, do I still want to keep this membership? Because I probably have a lighthouse somewhere, and I don't need another happy birthday. So, you know, it's a lot of things to think about when you are in a stamp club, especially when you may not really be using the stamps. Like, what's the purpose? So, we'll see. I'm going to go ahead and cut these out. All right, so I got my Cloud Punch Fiskars. They're 2 different sizes. I got these in a D-stash, I'm sure of it. Nicholas First, all in one. And I got some single ribbon. This is from Joann Fabric. It's not much on here at all. Not much at all. It's 2 feet on each. That's not a lot. You probably could, well, I think these were $1.50. This is when they used to give you more for less, I think, even though it's not a lot on there. You still got a lot. And then here are the images, the 10 images I believe I said we were going to get out. So you don't need a die for everything that you get if you have a scan and cut. I can't say the same for Cricut, because I don't know how Cricut, that cutting feature works. I know that you can cut things out, but I don't know if you can upload data and then cut it out like this. I know they have a print and cut, but I don't have the Maker or the one right before the Maker. I have an Expression, and I have the First Air, and I never even used that one. Please excuse that fire alarm, the buzzer, whatever it's called. It's annoying, but the big roommate should be home soon, today or tomorrow, and he will change it. So I got those out, and I was thinking that we could do, I like this card a lot, but I don't really care for it hanging off the page. I think I'd rather do an easel card where it does stand up. Okay, so I pulled out my beach house paper from Paper Studio. I think I may use this color and this color as the background for the front. I also have this David Tutera A2, A6 layer pieces. They look like this, so this may not work, but I think that maybe this may work because it has little polka dots on it. So yeah, I think this is when he was with Joann Fabric, because this is a Joann clearance tag. We may put this polka dot, and then I have this right here, it says Ahoy, and then this one is plain. So let's go ahead and color up our lighthouse first. Okay, so not only is that beeping getting on my nerves, it just started to rain, which you all know I love the rain. I'm using a mixture of a lot of things. I'm using Staedtler color pencils. I have these Scholar Prisma Scholar color pencils, and then right here, if you can notice right here on this, the lights, I use the Prisma yellow color. Here I use neon yellow, no, Napoli yellow, and that's from Copic. And then I use this Jelly Roll pen right here. I don't like this gold color. I don't like how it comes out. It looks dirty to me. It doesn't look, I was expecting like a bright shiny color. Like it looks gold, don't get me wrong, but I think it looks kind of dirty. So on this one, I'm going to go with more of a darker themed, I guess. So I'm using a gray color pencil, and then I think I'll go over it with, I don't know, white maybe? I don't know. So the bricks will be gray. I'm assuming, and then I don't know what else I'll do. I don't know if I want to make it like a whole bunch of different colors, because you know some lighthouses are out there like crazy colors, and then some of them are very muted colors. I mean, you really don't need to see the lighthouse, you just need to see the light from the lighthouse, right? I love looking at lighthouses. When I lived in Connecticut, I used to volunteer at the Maritime Museum in New London, and they had so many different things like the Firenze, I think that's how you pronounce it, Firenze lens, one of the first lenses that were used to reflect the light off of the light into the harbor. And it was so pretty. I have not been educated in a while when it comes to like local history, because when I left Connecticut, my mom had passed away, and I came to Texas, and I was just like, you know, I'm done. I didn't want to enhance anything about myself. I just wanted to just kind of melt into a wall, for lack of better words. But you know, the Little Mermaid's here. Things are different. Life is okay. Things could always be better, but you know, you always have to do work, and if you want things to work better, you have to work at them, right? You can't just wake up and be like, okay, everything's gonna be great, and you don't put in any effort at all. I think I want these to be shiny, so I am going to go over, can you see? I am going to go over this with gel pen, just because I want it to be a little bit shiny. I love that I love the Staedtlers, but I feel like they don't melt into your paper like the Prismacolor pencils. But I feel like the Prismacolor pencils are a little bit too crayonish, and I feel like I waste a lot of them because I sometimes press down really hard on what I'm working on versus not pressing down hard on it. I know some of you are like, when you create, you probably color everything up and then cut it out. For me, and if I'm using a scanning cut, if I go out the line, the scanning cut's going to pick up that line that I went out of and try to cut it, and then have to come back with scissors and do all that. So I prefer just to like this. And if you're really concerned about moving your paper around, you can just tape this down with some repositional tape. And no one will be the wiser besides you, because this is your project. Whatever you decide to do, it is your thing. So I think I'm gonna make this one blue and aqua, because that's what I picked those colors out. I think I'll do this one red and yellow, I think. So let's go ahead and get started. Today has been full of coloring for me. As you all know, I am doing the 100-day project, and silly me, I chose to color. So I'm going to color different images for 100 days. What in the world was I thinking? So far so good though. I haven't woke up once not wanting to just color. I have woke up saying, what am I going to color? Though I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to color. But it's going to work out. It always does. Today, you know, right now, I guess I could say not today, but right now I'm just doing color images out of coloring books that I have. And maybe like on day 7, day 8, maybe I'll do stamped images, and then, you know, maybe I'll rotate it every 7 days. But right now I'm okay with the coloring books because I have a master plan at the end of 100 days. So I hope you'll be around to see what the master plan is. I am making this video a little bit longer because some of you have wrote in the comments that you like to see the process and you don't mind the longer videos. You know, of course, if you have a problem with me talking so much, you can just fast forward probably to like the last 2 or 3 minutes of the video, or maybe like the last 5 or 10 seconds of the video, I guess. I don't know. But usually I just talk about random stuff that's happening in my life, as well as things that's going on around in the world that I feel is okay to discuss without having too much crazy negative conversation. I'm going to leave this little spot right here white, just because I feel like, no, you know what, I'm going to color it yellow because I feel like no, I don't know, I'll decide. I don't know yet. I was going to leave it white, but then I'm like, no, do I really want to leave it white? I don't know. So yep. So now we're going to do this. I have lighthouses in the guest bedroom that I've collected. Like I have some New London lighthouses. I have, you know, replicas, not the real thing. That would be crazy, right? I have random lighthouses, and I have pictures of lighthouses. But over the last year or so, I've gotten rid of some of the lighthouses. And I want to say, is it Hobby Lobby? I think it's Hobby Lobby, the like the home store, Home Goods. I think it's Home Goods, which I rarely go in because I just love that store so much that I cannot take it. It smells so wonderful. It always Home Goods, and what is the other one? The expensive Home Goods version. It's still like discounted. Kirkland's. Thank you, whoever told me. But it smells so delightful. Like you walk in and you're like, I want to buy everything to make my house smell like this. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. But that's how I feel when I go in the stores. I do want to say one thing. If you do have a ScanNCut and you want to put your white edge on there, don't be so frugal with your paper. And I use stamp the images because if you the wider you make it with the white border, it may go into another image. But I like mine to be, for the most part, right on the seam, unless it's a harder image to pick up. And I do have an older model ScanNCut. I have the CM350, so that's like the base model of the ScanNCut 2. They do have a new ScanNCut out. I'm not a representative, I don't get paid, but you know, they had it on HSN last year for $199, and now I'm kicking myself in the butt for not getting it because it doesn't cost $199 again. And you know, that's so crazy. I had seen Diane Die's Corner. She did an enabler alert for the Vagabond tube, and I think it was like under $100, like $60. And I jumped on it. I was like, I don't have an electric cutting machine that I'm proud of. Like, I have this rotary one, you know, the roll one. And I had already killed one of them, and I have another one. I have like 4 or 5 of them. And the reason why I had so many is because in my head I was going to teach craft classes, and so you need those kind of things if you're doing a die cutting class. You need to have machines. I do not like to participate in any type of function where it's not enough material. You know, that really kind of sucks. when it's not a lot of material to go around for all the students. So if I have a class of, let's say, 8 ladies, and you know, you have 2 ladies at a table, for example, or 2 students. I won't say ladies because it's men crafters and children crafters, and you know, 8 crafters, 8 makers, as Mr. Holtz calls it, 8 makers. So I would expect to at least have 4 machines. And you know, some people bring their own stuff because they do not want to be messing around with other people's belongings and touching stuff. But let's just say it was a beginner class. You know, you would at least, I feel like I would at least have needed to have 4 machines. And then not on top of that, I need my own machine. So that's 5, right? So I have some manual ones, but now I have, you know, that deal was just so good. And I did not want to pass it up. But for the Brother ScanNCut DX, basically the ScanNCut 3, I passed that $199 deal up. Because I have, you know, I have one and I haven't found all the joys in it yet. Just recently have I started just really trying to explore more and go crazy with the creations. And so I felt like it did the same thing. Although the ScanNCut DX, it probably does a little bit more than the ScanNCut 2 because it's a newer model. It probably has a little bit more images. You know, it's really quiet. And the big roommate, he was home and I was cutting out, I think, the flower petals. What's the flower petals? It was something. He was like, man, that thing needs a tune up. It's so much louder than I remember it being. But I think since we've discussed the ScanNCut 3, you know, with the whisper quietness and all that stuff, that, you know, it's in his head. I feel like it's in his head that it is noisier. But I don't think so. I mean, it is noisier than the ScanNCut 3. But overall, I don't think that it has changed. I'm just going to go over with this blue marker, these bricks. I don't think it's any louder. And plus, from what I understand about the DX, because I went to look at the what is it? Not the 225, the one that's more like really more expensive. Because I was going to look into getting the ScanNCut 2 because I feel like the ScanNCut 2, a higher model than what I have, should be, you know, discounted, right? Since they have a ScanNCut 3, but no, brother is not playing. They're like, I want all my coin. So it's interesting. I was at Tuesday morning on Wednesday, and I don't know, I was trying to put a top on it. A Copic, you cannot put your top on your Copic markers. I guess because so many people, when they create, and if they make videos and take pictures, they like to line up and take pictures of it. So I guess that's why. I don't know. But I don't have a lot of Copics, and I didn't buy these. They were gifted to me. So I like to dabble in it from time to time. I think some of them are drying out because they are used. I don't know what I'm going to do with this bottom portion, but let me go ahead and color this up and come back. Okay, so I decided to use this red, this crimson red versus Staedtler 175 red because it doesn't have a name on it. But if you can see, like, this is my first color over versus this one. And even though the colors are not the same, when you press down on it, it just enhances the color, intensifies it, and makes it so much darker. And no matter how much I could do this on this one, I know it's not a color comparison, but we're here, okay? No matter how hard I press down on it, it's not going to change. It's not going to change it. So if this was my light, right, my regular, once I go over it, it still isn't as intense as this one. So light. Can you tell a difference? Even though I like both of the markers, color pencils, I know from using them so frequently which one I need to do certain things with. So the Staedtler doesn't stick to the paper as much as the Prismacolor, but it does a good job. I don't have to worry about it It will cover, it will give me coverage, it will do everything I needed to do. But at some point, all I'm doing is just putting color on top of color on top of color. Whereas I feel like with the Prismacolor pencil, I gotta stop dropping them. You know, it's just only intensifying. Does that make sense? So like I laid this color down first, right? Let's go right here on this one. I'm laying this color down and I'm just going very, very light. Because I put this plum, what is this color called? Deep plum, violet. I'm just going to stay away from violet. Violet does not do me right. I have to draw my little line. I always have to line stuff out because I'll just go bananas. Okay, so now I have this color down, right? Now you see the difference? Like I feel like if I was to go back over this, it would get even more darker, which is not something we need. It's not a firehouse. It's not a red schoolhouse, not a barn. But you can even see like the color peeling off, whereas you can't even see the color peel off on here, which is, you know, a pro and a con for some people. Artists that use these and know, you know, are well versed on color pencils and markers, etc. I think that those are the people that may be able to give a better educated statement about it. I'm just speaking as a novice, someone who's barely learning how to blend. And I'm enjoying it too, just so you all know. It makes me happy. Anyway, that's all. Okay, so I got the sand, and how I did it, I'm doing it backwards this time, but I don't want it to be completely all this color, whatever color this is, peachy, brown, orange. And then this is brownish orange as well. I think it looks good for me for sand. So what I did is I left some of the spots white, like uncolored, and then I'm going over it because, you know, sand, even though it's like certain colors, it's different colors, right? Does that make sense? I don't even think that made sense to me, but you all know what I'm talking about, I hope. So yeah, there we go. And here we are. All right. So see, it kind of looks more sandy. And then I'm going to go back over it with the original color, and where I didn't color at now, I'm going to color over that, as well as try to do a little bit of decent blending to make it kind of look like it's different color sand. And if I really wanted to get crazy with it, I could go back once more in the spots that I left blank the original time to bring this color back out as the primary color of the blend. All right, so can you tell the difference? Probably not, because I can barely see it. But this one, I didn't do much blending. I just colored two colors on top of each other. Whereas this one, I did a little bit more mindful blending. As you can see right here on the edge, it's not the same throughout. Okay, so the first card concept, I think I got. I think it's gonna be a easel card. You know what? No, it's gonna be a regular card. So let's see. No, it's gonna be an easel card, I think. I don't know, but this is the concept. I'm gonna put this baby right here. I'm gonna punch out some clouds, put those over there, and then we're gonna find a sentiment. How about that? All right, so I got the Distress Color ink out. I was going to use the permanent, but I was like, no, we're just going to do this one, Mermaid Lagoon. And instead of me stamping out that cloud punch, I just decided to, instead of stamping out the cloud stamp, I decided to punch out some clouds and distress the edges. So that's what I'm doing now. And I also want to do a little bit of distressing on this embossed card. They call it texture. I think that's what David Tatera calls it, texture. Mr. Tatera calls it. I'm not sure. So when I first started buying craft supplies and stuff, well, I've been doing it for a long time, but heavy was probably in 2010 or 11, maybe before then, because then I was into crochet. So probably like 2008, I guess, before my mother moved with me and I used to go visit her, etc., etc. I purchased a lot of stuff because it was on clearance. I was like, oh, this is a good deal, and it's a good brand, it's a good, a good everything. I thought, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew that one day I would be doing something with paper. That day has come finally. But, I didn't know what I was going to be doing. I completely lost and oblivious to a lot of things in the crafting world. And that's why I got some of these things, and I'm finally starting to use them. And now when I think about it, I could have saved that that dollar, and used my own embossing folders, right? But hey, I didn't. All right, so here we are. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm thinking I want to do some clouds as well on here. See how that just pops out now? But I don't think I want to do the whole entire thing this color. But it's so pretty. If you have embossing folders and you're not using them, why not? You can do so much more with embossing folders than just emboss and throw them on paper. And I think that's the thing that I like about Mr. Hoax, with the 3D embossing folders that he has. And I'm quite sure other, like Sizzix, and then, Crafter's Companion. You don't really need anything besides an embossing folder. Like I got some from Tuesday Morning. I got a big thank you. It says thanks, but we know what it means. I got it from Tuesday Morning. I was just like, this is going to be so cool. When people send you things, emboss it a few times, do some of this distressing or whatever you want to do to it, and bam, there you go. I don't even know if I want to use this on this project, but I haven't played with my embossing folders in a while. I haven't really been, even though I've been crafting, I haven't been getting down and dirty like I really want to. I've been trying to get my mind ready for some other things that's going on in life. So, it is what it is. I'll get back into that, my crafty zone where I want to craft all the time. Right now, I'm just like, oh, I want to go create, but if I don't, I'm not going to be upset about it. So I think I might need to get another layer out and do something else, because I did not want to color it completely blue, but I just couldn't help it because blue is such an awesome color. Okay, slight change of plan. I was using glue, and I glued the entire thing down so I couldn't make an easel card. Silly me, right? So I think the thing is, you never see chevrons really going down like that. You see them going across. So what I think I'm going to do to break it up some is I'm going to take this red anchor ribbon, and I think I'm going to put a strip down like that, because it is going down versus across. Were you saying no, don't add ribbon? I think I heard you if you were. No, I don't know what the heck's going on. I just received a message, and sometimes for me, sometimes I let people mess up my mental flow, and it just does not, I'm not good for a while. So I'm trying to work through that. I'm just going to cut this down. You see I got more tape. And what I want to do on some of my clouds is put little clouds inside the big clouds. Does that make sense? So I'm going to go ahead and put some clouds down, because I feel like that would make me happy. Yeah, that would definitely make me happy. All right, so I stamped out a lot of these birds onto the paper itself, and now we're just going to put our lighthouse right on top of it. So because the birds are flying behind the lighthouse, but I didn't want it to be, never mind. So let me just take this tape off. All right, I think we are done. I did have some issues with this tape. This is the tape I have. I got it from the Dollar Tree. This is not the normal one I get, but it was not coming off. One side was peeling easy, the other side was not. I decided to put You Light Up My Life right here on a regular sheet right on top of it versus something else, and I'll show you why. I was thinking about using this scallop, but I was just like, that takes up too much. You know, if I wouldn't put the clouds there, a lot of stuff could have happened if I hadn't decided to design it this way. But I did. Let me go ahead and do the other one, and then we'll be finished. So this is a regular card, nothing fancy. For some reason, the red got in there too, so I don't know what's going on. Hurricane Brandy is about to leave the building. This desk is a mess. So this side, I used the polka dot. And at first I was going to use this, but I didn't like it. I was going to do, this is the end result, okay? And I did the same concept with the clouds. I like these clouds. I guess if I really wanted to make them look like the stamped images, I could have stamped them out and cut them out. But I just chose to do this, and I put one little cloud underneath the big cloud, and I just glued these on top. And I just glued this flat down to the surface. And then I stamped right on top again of the word of it. Because I didn't want to take away from all the other stuff by putting like a circle or something on there. Especially since this paper is already patterned. I thought that would be cool. The inside is blank, and this is how the back looks. And then you already saw me do this one. I really want to do an easel card. Maybe next time I have 8 more. So who knows. Thank you all for watching. Let me know in the comment section. Do you subscribe to anybody? And are you considering canceling your subscription? And if you do subscribe to them, tell me why you like them so much. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, happy crafting.